From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bodie Fogden.
And I'm Corey Preston. A group of New Mexico state students are demanding stronger protection for students against ICE and Border Patrol.
The New Mexico Dream Team, Graduate Workers United, and Students for Justice in Palestine gathered over 700 signatures from students and community members. This afternoon, they marched from the Corbett Center Student Union to the administration building, holding signs and shouting. The president of Students for Justice in Palestine then called on NMSU President Valerio Ferme to take action.
Ferme, it is time to grow a backbone. It is time to take a moral stance. It is time to lead through ethics and humanity. Do not come to serve a minority-majority institution if you lack the principled integrity to protect us. We are not just welcoming recruiters.
The university responded saying NMSU supports the right for students to engage in peaceful expression. Also, that NMSU has received written demands from the coalition, and they will review the demands and continue to work in dialogue with the community and students. An El Paso man is accused of trying to smuggle 16 people into the United States.
Court records say on February 26, agents executed a search warrant at a house in El Paso where they found 16 undocumented immigrants. Two witnesses identified 37-year-old Crescencio Pacheco Olvera as the caretaker of the stash house and as transport driver in the smuggling operation. Pacheco Olvera is charged with conspiracy to harbor, transport, and bringing undocumented immigrants. He will stay in custody until his trial. The Las Cruces Public Schools are considering changing the name of Cesar Chavez Elementary School after allegations against the civil rights activist.
Last night, 4 of the 5 board members said they would not be comfortable keeping Cesar Chavez's name on the school. But Melinda Sanchez said changing the name would take away from Latino and Las Cruces history.
That can be presented as a woman, as a Latina, but as part of the labor movement as well. I think it's taking away from a lot. There's a reason why the school was named what it was needed to be named, and I think that's the behind conversation.
The Board of Education plans to revisit the topic during their next meeting in April.
You know, like stepping outside of my house today when I was getting ready to come here, it was just like opening the door of an oven and I just got blasted with a gigantic wave of heat. So if we're gonna take a look right now at what we're currently gonna be expecting, what it's been looking like today. Right now, we're clocking in at 93 degrees in March. The heat wave that's been coming through the whole country has hit us especially hard. Only 8-mile-an-hour winds too, so don't expect like a breeze to help cool you down. Now, when you compare this to our average temperature that we usually see for today, 72 degrees. Our high was at 95. We're a whole 23 degrees higher than our average. And we're clocking in at 7 degrees higher than our all-time high that we saw in 2012. It's hot out there. It is incredibly hot. We've been seeing the heat wave throughout the country, and we're going to take a little deeper look into how that heat wave has not only been affecting us here in the Southwest, but also in places even like Minnesota. But first, we're going to send it back to the desk.
And a New Mexico jury has found Meta liable in a case over child sexual exploitation on its platforms.
The jury found the company violated state law in a case accusing it of failing to warn users about the dangers of its platforms and from protecting children from sexual predators. Meta was found liable on all counts and ordered to pay $375 million in damages. Juror Lindsay Payton says Meta needs to change their focus.
And a Meta spokesperson said
company itself and what it has come to represent and should be trying to represent better, and in just protecting teens and people that are going to be on those platforms.
A Meta spokesperson said the company respectfully disagrees and plans to appeal. The company argued it has been transparent about risks and invested heavily in safety.
And stay tuned, Ben will be back with your national weather forecast.
I'm Michaela Malazzi, and I'm back with a brand new season of Bare Feet, where I continue to connect with the world one dance at a time. Join me for this new Season 8 of dance and music adventures from around the world.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG-Public Media.
Having aired in the U.S. and internationally for over 3 decades, Wailana Yoga helped pioneer the modern-day yoga movement. With her clear and authentic instruction set against spectacular scenic backdrops and uplifting music, Wailana makes yoga easily accessible and enjoyable for people of all backgrounds and experience levels.
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KRWG Public Media.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters. New Mexico health officials say there are 15 measles cases now in the state, and all are in county jails. 10 cases are in the Luna County Jail in Deming, 3 in the Doña Ana County Jail in Las Cruces, and 2 in the Hidalgo County Jail in Lordsburg. All the cases involve federal detainees. The New Mexico Department of Health has sent vaccination crews to all 3 jails to reduce the risk of further spread. Measles is very contagious and can be fatal in the worst cases. Health officials encourage people to make sure they're vaccinated. A record-breaking heat wave expands from the west into the middle of the country.
The unusually warm weather was originally expected to break more than 60 records across the U.S. over the course of today. Cities in 17 states broke or tied their all-time high record. Phoenix was expected to see the most extreme conditions after several days of triple-digit temperatures. More than 200 additional daily temperature records could be broken through Sunday. The heat wave is forecast to move eastward and should reach the East Coast on Friday. And Ben, what can you tell us about these heat waves and the rest of the national news?
Well, it's not just here in a traditionally hot area of the country. We're also seeing in Minnesota, Missouri, all of the north. You can see right here in yellow is where they came close to tying the record within 3 degrees. But then once you start getting into the oranges, the pinks, and especially right here, this light pink means they not only broke the daily record, they broke the monthly record, the hottest it has ever been in the month of March, mostly contained around the Great Plains and in the Southwest, particularly here in New Mexico, where all over the state, our record temperatures were just shattered. Now, over here in the east, in the particularly humid parts, we see Minnesota also broke a lot of their daily records, same with Missouri, and heat plus humidity it's got to be killing those Minnesota folks. However, here, if we go to the next map, we're a very dry part of the area, and of course, dry plus heat equals forest fires. There's been a red flag warning similar to the one that we saw 2 weeks ago throughout most of the northeast half of the state. Basically, if you are east of the Rio Grande, there's a good chance that forest fires are more likely to happen, but we're also beginning to see it in the southern part of the state, right here in Silver City, even almost crossing over into Deming, where there is a much higher risk of forest fires taking place. Now, what's always recommended with red flag warnings is avoid open flames or sparks. So if you're going to do stuff outdoors, if you're going to be hiking, if you're going to be camping, keep that in mind. Don't start any campfires. Be careful when you're driving on dry grass that could ignite the grass possibly. Be careful, properly discard cigarettes or anything like that, and be sure to stay safe if you're going to be going outside, if you're going to be camping, if you're going to be hiking. Now, if we go on to the next map, we know the entire western half of the United States has been going through this heat wave, and it will be going into the east pretty shortly, but right now, their main issue is all of the rain going on. In Tampa, it's going to be 84 and rainy. We see rain going on in Detroit and across southern Ontario. It even might snow in parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and parts of Quebec and Ontario. So we'll go more into details about those record temperatures here in New Mexico and take a little look into the future to see when they might move away after the break.
Welcome back to our sewing room for the 4700 series of Love of Quilting.
These new episodes are packed with fresh skills and inspiring projects, from bold, large-scale patchwork to quick and satisfying small designs.
Let's explore new and creative techniques like using a compensation plate for bulky seams, couching yarn to embellish, and even dyeing quilts with indigo.
From piecing and quilting to our beloved viewer tips, stitch along with us on this season of Love of Quilting.
Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Are you getting KRWG's Airwaves digital program guide in your email? If not, there's an easy and convenient way to get it delivered straight to your inbox. Simply go to krwg.org, click on the button that says Subscribe to Airwaves Online, fill out your email information, and just like that, you'll be on your way to receiving airwaves up to 2 weeks before the beginning of the month via email. KRWG Public Media, powered by you.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's been going on across the state right now. So we're seeing it all take place in the 80s and 90s, and the eastern half and the southern half of the state right now have been getting it worse. They're the ones that we see primarily in the 90s. In the, more of the northern parts of the state, the ones with the higher elevation, more of the mountains, we're mostly going to be in the 80s. Right now, Clovis and Roswell are tied for the state lead at 95. Here in Las Cruces, it's currently about 93 degrees, and in Deming, it's going to be 92. Now, if we take a look tomorrow, Roswell is going to be the first city in the state to cross the century mark. It's going to be 100 degrees in Roswell tomorrow. Clovis is almost going to be there. They almost catch Roswell, but fall just short at 98. The northern parts of the state get colder, but basically everywhere else is going to get hotter. We're going to be seeing an increase to 94 tomorrow here in Las Cruces, and Deming is going to clock in at 93. Now, just to give a little bit of a spoiler, there are going to be no clouds for the foreseeable future here in New Mexico. It's going to be clear skies tonight in Alamogordo at 57. Tomorrow is going to clock in at 93, and it's basically the same story in Truth or Consequences. Clear skies tonight and tomorrow, a 57 low and a 95 high. Silver City, it gets a little more interesting because it's going to be in the 80s, and later on in the week there is a good chance that it's going to rain some in Silver City. And then tonight in Las Cruces, though, it's going to be same old story, clear skies, and it's going to get up to 94. Back to the desk.
And Ruby Mendoza is next with sports.
Thank you, Corey. Coming up in sports, the NMSU women's basketball team is starting to fill out some of its staff. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
I'm Samantha Brown, and I'm always looking to find the destinations, the experiences, and most importantly, the people who make us feel like we're really a part of a place. That's why I have a love of travel and why these are my places to love.
Saturday at 7 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
The news comes at you so fast that sometimes you miss stories that impact you. Enter KRWG's Friday News Wrap. Explore exclusive content, in-depth news, deeper dives into stories, and so much more. Get it delivered to your email by subscribing free at krwg.org. KRWG Public Media, powered by you.
On this season of Patty's Mexican Table, we are in the Yucatan Peninsula. ¡Qué rico! I'm gonna take all the things I learned here and put them to use in my kitchen so that you can use them too.
Friday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back. I'm Ruby Mendoza, and let's have some fun. Women's tennis is seeing some love this week at the Beeman Family Tennis Complex in Tennessee. On March 20th, they defeated Belmont 4-0, and the Aggies secured in doubles with scores of 6-4, 6-2, and an unfinished #1 position. Then they won 3 straight singles play matches. Whitney Moon, Montana Parkinson-Lubold, and Emma Pettin dominated the top 3 positions with unfinished games. New Mexico State will head to Texas next week to face Sam Houston on the court. And now we're going from Salt Lake City down here to the city of the Cruces. Asami Morita has been named the associate head coach and recruiting coordinator for the women's basketball team. Asami joins the Aggies coming from Division II Westminster with 3 seasons under her belt, and she made history with the Griffins as the first Japanese-born head coach in collegiate basketball. Before this, she led the 2nd most wins in program history for University of Nevada in Reno. Head coach Amadou describes this decision as immediately clear for him to make, and I know we're all hoping for some immediate wins this next season. And all this 90-degree weather is preparing us for this week's matchup in Aggie baseball. Tonight, our men's baseball team will play against the Sun Devils in Phoenix. This is the 41st all-time meeting for this duo, but the first time in 7 years. The Aggies' current season standings is 3-2 for midweek games, and if this midweek game is a victory for New Mexico State, it will be the 4th win over Arizona State in program history. Now set your alarm for 7:30 tonight to witness this fiery battle in the field on ESPN+. And that's all I have for y'all tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. But still ahead on News 22, Ben will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast.
This week on KRWG's Music Spotlight.
Mostly my songs are God-driven, you know, introspection.
I know what mercy looks like. I know how it feels to be loved.
Saturday at 10 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Have you ever tasted something that transported you to another world?
That's so legit.
I'm Chef Yavang. That's what I aim to do every time I cook.
This looks amazing.
As a Hmong refugee from Southeast Asia, I use food as a way to share my culture, my family, and our history. Join me as we step into the kitchen with local chefs to relish the cuisines and culture of our neighbors.
Saturday at 2 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
So, all right, taking a look at our 5-day forecast. For those of you wondering when this heat wave is going to make its way past, it'll be Friday. So we finally have some light at the end of the tunnel, but we still got to deal with it for Thursday. And that's all I got.
And that's all for News 22 Wednesday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Tune in tomorrow night for more news, but don't go too far because Jade Mateo Ornelas is next with Noticias 22 en Español. I'm Bodie Fogden.
And I'm Corey Preston. And from the whole News 22 team, Ruby, Ben, Bodie, and myself, have a great night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, la información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, yo soy Jade Mateo Ornelas con las breves de hoy con Noticias 22. Hoy varios grupos de la Universidad Estatal de Nuevo México y de la región están demandando mejor protección en contra de ICE y la patrulla fronteriza. Los grupos juntaron más de 700 firmas de estudiantes y miembros de la comunidad apoyando las demandas. Se juntaron en el campus y marcharon hasta Hadley Hall, donde se ubican las oficinas administrativas. El grupo le pidió al presidente Valerio Ferme que tomara más acción en contra de agentes federales. En una declaración, la universidad respondió afirmando que NMSU apoya los derechos de estudiantes a expresarse pacíficamente. Además, la universidad recibió demandas por escrito del grupo y aseguran que seguirían trabajando en diálogo con la comunidad y los estudiantes. El Departamento de Salud de Nuevo México anunció que hay 15 casos de sarampión, todos adentro de cárceles en varios condados en el estado. 10 casos en la cárcel del condado de Luna en Deming, 3 casos en el condado de Doña Ana y 2 en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo en Lordsburg. Los casos involucran a detenidos federales. El Departamento de Salud de Nuevo México mandó equipos de vacunación a las 3 cárceles para reducir el riesgo de infección. Eso fue todo por hoy. Que tengan una buena noche.